Hello, dear friends. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey into the world of philosophy and science by exploring the remarkable path of Professor Anthony Flew. This story serves as an example of how profound reflection and scientific discoveries can completely transform a person's worldview. We will examine what led one of the greatest atheists of the 20th century to believe in the existence of a higher intelligence and to accept the idea of God. His journey is not only a personal transformation, but also a challenge to traditional notions of science, religion, and the structure of the universe. Let us begin with a pivotal moment in Anthony Flew's life. At the age of 22, he openly declared to his parents for the first time that he did not believe in God or in life after death. This was a courageous step for a young man whose father was a priest and a professor of theology. Anthony's main argument was the contradiction between the idea of an omnipotent and benevolent creator and the existence of evil in the world. This subject became central to his philosophical works and debates, which he engaged in for more than 60 years. Anthony Flew became a recognized authority among atheists. His works, grounded in logic and scientific data, garnered broad support within the academic community. Yet at the end of his life, he made a sensational statement. He could no longer ignore the arguments pointing to the existence of a higher intelligence. What led him to change his views? One of the decisive moments came from new discoveries in the fields of biology and physics. Anthony was deeply impressed by the complexity of the structure of DNA molecules. This chain, he stated, represents an incredibly intricate mechanism whose functioning necessitates the involvement of an intelligent being. The probability of such a structure arising by chance is unimaginably small. Scientific data convinced him that a higher intelligence lies behind this complexity. Anthony was particularly struck by a lecture given by the scientist Jerry Schroeder. In his presentation, Schroeder drew an analogy. Imagine a monkey randomly striking keys in an attempt to write a Shakespearean sonnet. Results from experiments with 6 monkeys provided with keyboards demonstrated that the likelihood of even typing a meaningful word is minimal. This vividly illustrated the impossibility of the random emergence of complex systems, such as the universe or DNA. These considerations led Anthony not only to reflect on biology, but also on physics. The laws of nature, as he emphasized, are designed in such a way that they allow for the emergence of life. For instance, even a slight change in the speed of light or the mass of an electron would make the existence of planets capable of supporting life impossible. For Anthony, this became evidence that the universe was set up to produce life. His new perspective was not limited to scientific discoveries. Anthony also turned to philosophical arguments about the nature of evil and free will. He came to realize that human freedom could explain the presence of evil in the world. For him, however, this was just one piece of a larger picture in which everything pointed to the existence of a rational creator. A significant aspect of Anthony Flew's transformation was how he began to understand the concept of God. By the end of his life, he concluded that the universe and life on Earth could not have come about by chance. In his book, There Is a God, Flew explained that accepting the idea of God was not the result of dogmatic belief, but the outcome of deep reflection on scientific facts and philosophical arguments. For him, God did not become a personal intervener in our world, but a creator of the laws and principles by which the entire universe operates. Anthony Flew raised an important question regarding the anthropic principle. This principle suggests that the laws of physics and other parameters of the universe are fine-tuned to enable life. For example, if the gravitational force were only slightly weaker or stronger, life on Earth would be impossible. This observation led the scientists to the conclusion that the existence of life on our planet is not a coincidence, but the result of the universe's precise fine-tuning. He argued that such fine-tuning would not be possible without the involvement of a rational being who set these parameters in this specific way. The book There Is a God became the result of his scientific and philosophical reflections. In this work, Flew continued his examination of the views of other scientists who had reached similar conclusions. He mentioned the work of scientists such as biologist Andrew Knoll, who studied the origins of life on Earth and concluded that science has yet to explain how life began, but that it requires a rational origin. Or physicist Freeman Dyson, who, through his exploration of the universe, found increasing evidence that our universe somehow knew that life on Earth would be possible. Anthony Flew believed that the entire universe has an intrinsic purpose. He asserted that the existence of life is no accident, but part of a larger picture focused on the development and support of life. Furthermore, his views became increasingly complex as he reflected on what might happen after death. Flew rejected the idea of a personal God who intervenes in every event on Earth. Instead, he argued that a rational creator designed the world with specific laws through which everything unfolds. A remarkable aspect of his teachings was his assertion that knowing the universe has a rational origin does not necessarily provide a complete understanding of the meaning of life. For Anthony Flew, it was more important to recognize that our lives, the universe, and its laws hold profound meaning. In this context, his philosophy gained a new dimension, uniting science and faith. In contrast to his earlier understanding, where God was merely a hypothesis and the universe a random product of evolution, he came to believe that reason is necessary to explain all that exists. This shift in Flew's views does not mean he embraced traditional religion. On the contrary, he stated that belief in God does not require accepting all religious dogmas. He did not become a Christian or a follower of any other religious tradition. However, his journey toward belief in a rational creator was the result of serious scientific research and philosophical reflection, which formed a kind of bridge between science and religion. Anthony Flew continued his scientific inquiries until the end of his life. His transformation of worldview serves as a vivid example of how science and philosophy can influence one another and reshape our understanding of the world. His story also highlights the importance of remaining open to new ideas, even when they contradict previously firmly held beliefs. His work became a milestone for philosophy and science, demonstrating that the pursuit of truth does not end at a single point and that truth can be far more multifaceted than we are accustomed to thinking. This story also inspires us to explore new horizons and gives us the opportunity to reconsider our own understanding of the world, values, and what we call truth. During his transformation of beliefs, Anthony Flew discovered that science and religion do not necessarily have to exclude each other. He realized that his understanding of God was not the classical religious perspective, but rather an attempt to explain the existence of life and the universe through rational, scientifically grounded approaches. This made his path to God distinct. He did not agree with traditional theological concepts that often depict God as an active participant in all events in the world. Instead, he believed that a rational creator established the laws of the universe, but did not further interfere with its development, allowing everything to exist according to these laws. Flew's reflections were indeed a significant step in the development of modern philosophy and science. His thoughts on God as a rational origin, who does not direct every event but laid the foundation for life, became an important contribution to contemporary theological discourse. This view of God raises a number of questions regarding the nature of God, his interaction with humanity, and with the universe as a whole. In fact, this approach helps us view God not as an abstract entity that performs miracles at every moment, but as the fundamental force that established the basic principles of life and the universe. This helps bridge the gap between science and religion and enables us to think more deeply and comprehensively about why we are who we are and how we became part of this vast universe. Anthony Flew also addressed the moral aspects of existence in the world, emphasizing that the laws of nature and the physical conditions that enable the development of life could also be moral laws. According to him, the mind that created the world endowed it with a specific moral structure which, though not obvious to everyone, remains significant for our existence. He argued that humanity has the ability to make decisions independently, based on an understanding of these universal laws. This point in Flew's philosophy is crucial. It suggests that morality could be a part of natural law and not merely a human invention. Of course, Flew's shift in views was gradual. and he harbored doubts about reaching final conclusions. He did not call for religious worship and did not believe in a personalized God, but he considered it necessary to acknowledge a certain higher rational force that might underpin the existence of the universe. He left this question open, prioritizing the scientific approach and logical reasoning. His thoughts became an inspiration for many scientists and philosophers who sought to find common ground between science and religion. They continue to debate whether such a perspective on God and nature is possible, whether it has limitations, and how it relates to other scientific theories. This question remains relevant as science continues to evolve and philosophical research introduces new ideas and perspectives. In truth, Flu's transformation is not merely the story of a scientist, but part of a broader process of searching for answers to questions that have preoccupied humanity for thousands of years. Does God exist? What is his nature? Can we understand his essence? And what place does humanity hold in this vast world? Although Flu did not provide definitive answers to these questions, his journey led many to reflect on the importance of not only seeking answers, but also remaining open to new ideas that can transform our understanding of reality.